What's up guys, Tamrakshan here. Apple's iPhone XR was one of the most popular phones when it was launched because it was like an affordable variant of the iPhone XS. And that popularity is to an extent still present because Apple is even now officially selling the XR for a reduced price. And this video is the review of the iPhone XR in 2021, and here I'll give my verdict on whether you should consider buying the iPhone XR as of now. This video is sponsored by Skillshare, the platform to learn all the creative skills you have and was always been interested in learning. The first 1000 people to click the link in my description gets a free trial of Skillshare Premium so you can start your creative skills today. Now the iPhone XR, even though it does have some flaws, right now it's still a great phone in majority of the stuff to give a best user experience. And yeah, the great stuff about this phone in 2021 is the performance, camera, battery and build quality. And these are the things that matter a lot in everyday use. And here, firstly about the performance, well, even if we consider the XR at its official pricing, it's still a champ in that segment. And that official pricing thing is something to keep note of, because in India right now the official pricing for the XR starts at 47,900 Indian rupees, which to be frank, even though stands fine with performance, is not an acceptable one in rest of the things. And straight away, I'm gonna say the price that you should only consider the XR is the offer pricing that we usually see in Flipkart. And it's approximately in the 35,000 to 40,000 range. And the fun fact is that this pricing under conversion is the official iPhone XR pricing in the US. And here, if you focus things based on the offer pricing, the XR in terms of performance is an excellent phone and surely the king in the segment based on performance. And it's all because of Apple Silicon powering the XR, which is Apple A12 Bionic chip. It's still a flagship level processor, and hence all the tasks you do even in iOS 14 is smooth and fast. There isn't much lag, and that's applicable even while doing intense stuff like gaming for a long period of time. And yeah, the best part is that even while doing all that, the phone doesn't get very warm. And also, even though the RAM available is just 3GB, things are not bad, especially in terms of RAM management. 6 apps usually stay open in memory if the apps opened are not intense ones. And about the storage, well, that's the typical iPhone storage options. The base variant just has 64GB of storage, and the second variant, which is the top variant right now, has 120GB of storage. And here the variant I'll recommend is the 120GB variant. Now if you're an average user who doesn't install plenty of apps, and also about photos and videos, if you transfer them to a computer regularly and also you depend a lot on cloud, well then you might be able to do with 64GB storage. But right now on a long-term basis, I'll surely recommend to get the 120GB storage because there isn't any form of storage expansion available. But then for that variant, even the offer pricing should be in the 40,000 range. So that's about the performance and user experience, and like I said, in this factor, the iPhone XR is still a great phone which runs the latest version of iOS, and for sure in the software department, this phone should at least get 3 more years of major software updates. And now moving to the next best thing about this phone, which is the camera. Now when you check the back portion, you might think that cannot be possible because there is just one camera available, which is not a normal thing for phones selling in the 35,000 to 40,000 range, because right now phones in almost every budget has approximately 3 to 5 cameras. But then in that, except one or at times two, everything else will be bad, and these 3 or 5 cameras given are just for marketing. And here what Apple has done is that the one camera offered, which is a 12 megapixel one, is a good sensor, and they've done the image processing in a neat manner which makes this single camera setup still a great one in the segment. The photos this camera captures in good lighting is plenty sharp with good dynamic range, and the colors are true to life. Now even if the light fades a bit, I would still say the shots are neat, but then when there's dull light or no light, then the camera struggles. There is no official night mode available, and hence in such situations where there is little or no light, this camera is of no use. But then you can use third-party apps in such situations to take usable pictures. And about videos, well, that's the main strong point of this camera in the XR. You can record 4K video at 60 FPS, and the quality of the videos is great. Videos are properly stabilized and there is no focusing issues and the colors look neat, and also there isn't much of exposure shifting issue too. And overall, I love the videos recorded with the XR. Then checking the front camera, well, it's a 7 megapixel camera, and this one is not a great one, but still it does its job in a neat manner. The frame of capture is not wide, and overall the selfies look fine with proper skin toning and adequate sharpening. But then here also the main strong point is with video recording. The max resolution supported is 1080p at 60 FPS, and in that setting the sharpness is good, and also the videos are well stabilized, and this one is a camera that can be used for vlogging. So that's the overall thing about the camera system in the XR, and you're in this 40,000 range. Well, this camera system does stay on top in the list, with the main strong point happening with the video recording. And now to the third best thing about this phone, which is the battery. The battery used in the 10R is a sufficiently big one, and since the screen is not a power hungry one, and also given the fact that iOS is well optimized, the battery backup I got from the 10R is great. I was getting an approx screen on time of 7 to 7.5 hours, and that was while using the phone in a pretty heavy manner. And with such kind of usage, the battery does last a day, and if you're an average to light user, you can push the battery back up to 2 days. And when it comes to charging, the 10R does support fast charging as well as wireless charging. But right now, if you buy a new iPhone 10R, you won't be getting a charging brick, so that's something to keep note of. And hence, if you're going to use Apple's 20-watt fast charger, well, with that, the charging time from 0% to 100% is approximately 1 hour 30 minutes. And here, all of this combined together again gives this phone the biggest advantage in the battery department. And now, before checking the next best thing about this phone, let's talk about the best place for creative people to develop their creative skills, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is the sponsor of today's video, and it's the right place for everyone who is interested in some form of creative work. Skillshare is an online learning community with classes all about creative skills for people like us. There is a wide variety of topics available, which include photography, animation, productivity, web development, creative writing, graphic design, music production, and so much more. And it's taught by actual creative professionals, and all the classes are done in an engaging manner with no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes. So with Skillshare, the advantage is that if you're trying to develop your creative skill or you're curious about a topic, you can start learning today. For me, I'm trying to learn about photography, and hence I've started with the beginner class about what makes a good photo by Daniel Wabuko. And with this class, it's all about knowing the importance of lighting in photography, identifying and isolating the subject, which should help me with framing a proper set for creating thumbnails for our videos. And for you also, this is an opportunity to explore the creative work you have always been wanting to start, because the first 1000 people who join Skillshare with the link in the description gets a free trial of Skillshare Premium. And after your trial, it's just $10 a month with annual subscription. So once again, a huge thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And now back to the last best thing even in 2021 about the iPhone 10R, and it's the build quality. Now I'm not tagging design because, to be frank, the design especially from the front feels dated. But about the build quality, it's still excellent. Apple always does that with their products, and that precise and sturdy build can be seen here too. Now the front and back of the phone is made of glass, so if you drop it, there is the risk of breaking it. But here the frame, which is aluminium, and the glass joining the frame, they are all done in a proper manner so that there isn't any gap or flex, and even now the buttons are very tactile. And also the phone is not a very huge phone, and the weight balance is done perfectly. This black iPhone 10R I'm using for review is almost 2 years old, but still there isn't any issues. Everything like the mute unmute slider, the lightning port, they all still work great, and even the camera which protrudes out doesn't have any scratches. And also the phone does have IP rating, so that's a plus point too. And overall this phone, even though there is a bit of cosmetic aging, is still holding great. And with this, the best things about this phone is all done. And now the rest of the stuff are either good or not that good for the price it's selling. And in that, the first thing is the display. Now this display is a good quality panel, and even now this is a very usable display because content consumption is enjoyable, and if you are a person who doesn't pixel peep, you won't have any issues with this display. It's a 6.1-inch IPS LCD panel, which is not a full HD one, and there isn't any higher refresh rate. And also for the bezels, the notch is really big, and also the side bezels are slightly thick too. So in paper, it looks really bad, and in comparison also, this won't stand against some of its AMOLED competitors. But if you just use it without any comparison and stuff, well then it's a good display. Viewing angles are great, and the colors stay sharp, and also the max brightness level the display can peak at is more than sufficient for outdoor use. And here this display paired with a good set of dual speakers makes this phone even now a good one for media consumption and gaming. The speakers does output clear and adequately loud audio, so from the speaker side also, the 10R still stays strong, and even for calls, the earpiece is a good one too. And here if you want to use Bluetooth, the version available is Bluetooth 5, and same is with the Wi-Fi, which is also at version 5, and here there is also NFC support, and you even get all the sensors too. And for unlocking the phone, well, the method available is Face Unlock, and that's why there is this big notch which houses the Face ID sensors. And Face Unlock was a very convenient method, but right now with the mass situation, it's not the same. But still, I like this method of unlocking. So these are all the good stuff about the iPhone 10R in 2021. And now to the not that good stuff, or maybe you can term it as a thing that's a sure miss for the price it's selling. And that thing is the fact that the iPhone 10R doesn't have support for 5G. Well, 5G is new, and also in India right now it's not available, but then phones that are launching in 2021 does come with support for 5G, and that's noticeable in phones selling for even lesser price. So this is a thing that might be an issue in future, like maybe a year or so, because if 5G becomes available, then at that time the 10R will be a phone that will be lacking that support. And also, if in case you're wondering about the number of SIMs that can be used with the 10R, well, it's two, in which one is nano SIM and the other is eSIM. So I guess that's everything about the iPhone XR in 2021. And yeah, from all this, the iPhone XR is surely a very solid option in the segment, and to be frank, the only thing that should be a concern is the support for 5G. Other than that, I feel it's a better option in this segment, and yeah, the price to keep note of is not the official price, but on the other hand, the offer price. That's all for this video, guys. Hope you liked it. If so, a like is much appreciated, and a sub to the channel will be awesome. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye.